is Headline News with Pistol from Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world. Brought to you by Philadonian TV, sponsored by JoJoMacMusic.com. Hello everyone, I am Pistol, and this is your Headline News. The Caribbean Community CARICOM Reparations Commission, CRC, has welcomed the apology issued by the Netherlands for its involvement in the slave trade in Suriname. In a statement, the CRC, which since 2013 has been actively pursuing reparations for native genocide and African enslavement from the former colonizing nations of Europe, said it welcomes this statement, which it views as long overdue, to the victims of the transatlantic trade in enslaved Africans in the Caribbean and their descendants. However, the Prime Minister did not commit nor signal his government's intention to enter into reparations negotiations with CARICOM, Africa, and the indigenous Caribbean communities who suffered genocide and enslavement at the hands of the Dutch state and its agents for over 300 years. The CRC said as a result, it is keen to engage the Netherlands government on next steps towards a mutually satisfactory outcome. Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte formally apologized on behalf of the Netherlands for his country's slavery past. However, he said the apologies to the descendants of slaves in Suriname and the Netherlands Antilles was only a comma, not a full stop, in acknowledging the horrendous suffering inflicted on generations of enslaved people. The Swiss government rejected the idea of introducing a third gender option or no gender option for official records, a position which differs from that of some neighboring countries. Responding to two proposals from Parliament, the governing Federal Council said the binary gender model is still strongly anchored in Swiss society. The Federal Council added that such options would require numerous changes to the Swiss constitution and to laws both at the national level and in the country's 26 states. Currently, people are entered into the civil registry as male or female with no other option. The government said a National Ethics Commission found in 2020 report that the time wasn't yet right for a change to the system. Switzerland has an unusual political system in which four parties from the left to the nationalist right are represented in the government, and frequent referendums are held on all kinds of issues. In 2018, the German government approved a third gender option for official records, allowing people to be registered as diverse. The law already allowed for gender to be left blank. Caribbean countries should prepare for prolonged effects of external economic shocks in 2023, including for high food and fuel prices and rising international interest rates. According to a new report from the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, it warned that higher interest rates could lead to economic slowdowns or even recessions in important source markets for exported services and goods from the Caribbean. The impact of these shocks depends on the trade structure of individual countries as well as the external financing requirements of each country, according to the report's headwinds facing the post-pandemic recovery. Among the report's key findings are that households and businesses are feeling the impact of price increases. The annual inflation rate climbed to an average of 8% by midsummer in the Caribbean countries covered in the report, excluding Suriname, which has been coping with high inflation since the fall of 2020. Regional Economic Advisor for IDB's Caribbean Department, David Rosenblatt, expressed hope that the unfortunate external conditions will improve during 2023. The authors of the report put forward several reform priorities, such as continued attention to fiscal consolidation and debt management on the macroeconomic dimension, and targeted interventions to help households cope with the effects of rising food and fuel prices. Headwinds facing the post-pandemic recovery is part of IDB's Caribbean Economics Quarterly Series. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the creation of a $50 million fund from which cash will be paid to people who provide the state with information about criminal activities. Holness shared the information during his address at the handing over ceremony of two houses under the new social housing program in Civil Heights, St. Anne, framing his comments against a background of the government's need to impose a state of emergency in the parish, which he said has contributed to a significant decrease in crime there. At the same time, the Prime Minister warned gun-toting young men that under the new Firearms Act, their punishment upon conviction will be harsh. I am Pistol, and that was your Headline News. That was Headline News with Pistol from Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world. Brought to you by Philadonian TV. Sponsored by JoJoMacMusic.com.
Mercy, yeah, you know.